Hello, I'm Mike Birch from Birch Bedrooms. Ordinarily we'd come to your house to help design your bedroom or home study, but obviously during the current health emergency we can't do that. But if you still like to get some ideas for your fitted furniture, we can do that for you remotely over the internet if you're able to send us a sketch plan and some dimensions of your room. And this is a short video to show you how you can easily do that. So, simple way to send us the information is we produce a very simple sketch plan. It doesn't have to be drawn with pencils and rulers or drawing boards, just freehand sketch of the shape of your room, mark where the doors are, mark where the window is, if there's a radiator, mark where the radiator is, and then work around the room, add the dimensions, and then you can just photograph this with your phone or scan it and email it to us. So, having produced your simple sketch plan, start in one corner of the room, work your way around, measuring each section of the wall, so where it then stops at the window, measure again the width of the window, the next section of wall to the corner, and then corner to corner till you get back to where you started. The measurements we want are wall to wall, so don't measure between the skirting boards. We'll deal with that in the design. So we want to go from the wall to the wall, and in this case, so I've got as far as here, measure from the corner to the edge of the chimney breast, 363 millimeters. And we tend to work and manufacture in millimeters, but we're happy to get the dimensions from you in millimeters, centimeters, inches, whatever you're comfortable with. Once you've decided to use one, then stick with it through the plan. So, again, the alcove here, keep the tape level, tape measure into the corner, and that is 12.67. When you've got a long run like this, if there's someone to help you with the tape measure, then that's very useful. But if you're on your own, you can still do it. Keep the tape level, tape into the corner, far as you can comfortably reach, press it firmly against the wall, change your grip, press firmly against the wall so it doesn't move. And move along. And we'll take that measurement, which is 2403 millimeters. And write them down as soon as you do them, because you will forget, and there is always a danger of transposing a figure and putting down 2430 instead of 2403 if you leave it. When you come to a doorway, the dimension we want is from the edge of the frame to the edge of the frame, so from the architrave here to the architrave here. And in this case that is 923, so I will write that down. A dimension that often gets forgotten, and sometimes people drive to our factory from a long distance, and the dimension they've forgotten is ceiling height. So if it's a bedroom, we certainly want your ceiling height, or in an office if there's tall furniture, we will need to know how tall your room is. Simple way, tape on the floor, just hold it gently with your foot, and roll the tape up to the ceiling, so no reaching and bending involved, and that is 2374. So this is the information that we would like to be able to do your CAD drawing. Simple sketch of the floor plan of your room. Dimensions on each section. So there's a size to go on each wall, each door and each window. Ceiling height. Bed size if it's a bedroom. Mark where the radiator is. If there isn't a radiator, perhaps write no radiator to save us having to see whether you've forgotten it. If there's any sockets that are going to be in the way where any furniture goes, then you can add those. So there's a socket here, so just put the dimension of where it starts and finishes. Equally there's a light switch over here, so put that dimension on here. Do measure the whole room, even if you're just thinking of doing something over here, because sometimes us being able to draw the whole room shows up something that you may have not thought of, perhaps where the bed might interfere, or if it's an office, then where you'd be sitting and people are coming through the door. And it allows us to offer some alternatives as well. If you've got sloping ceilings, which are quite common in modern houses, in 3-storey houses and older properties as well, then you can just give us an elevation of that. So draw your ceiling, the slope, the floor. We'll already know what your ceiling height is because we've got it here. Measure from the floor to the start of the slope, put that dimension in. we can work out what that one is, because we can take this away from that. Slightly more difficult one, you can just measure the length of that, but it's better if you can sort of imagine or ideally mark a straight line down here, so you can hold a spirit level on here. You could have a piece of string with a weight hung on it to give you a bit of a plumb line, and then measure this distance here, so whatever that is going to be. So ideally that's the information we want, and then you'd mark where the slope is. So if the slope was along this outside wall, which it often is, you could just do a line like that and put line of slope. So if you send us that information, perhaps a couple of snaps of the room, any thoughts and ideas you've got, and then we will work on your design, and we will send you a set of CAD drawings like these with plans, dimensions, so everything can be double checked. So this is the sort of thing that you will receive. So if you'd like to still receive your CAD design through these interesting times, then send us the measurements and we'll come back to you with the design. Keep well.